Hey, this is Scott, and today we're going to take a first look at the build and design of the Tamron 70-200 f2.8 G2 lens. If you're new to this channel, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Thank you to Tamron Japan for sending me this lens to check out. However, as always, I will be giving you my own personal opinions on this lens, and I'll try to give you enough material that you can form your own opinions as well. I will be using my own Canon 70-200 2.8 Mark II as a kind of benchmark for these tests and comparisons against this lens, so if there's anything in particular you want to see, just let me know down in the comments below and I'll try to get that for you. I will also be doing some other Tamron reviews in the future, the 85 1.8 VC, the new 90mm macro, and a bunch of other ones, so if you want to see those, then be sure to check back and I'll put the links on screen and down below when they are available. As for the 70-200, I really like the way that it looks and feels. It feels solid, it feels really well designed, it looks nice, and I know that doesn't matter, but compared to the version 1 of this lens, I think this is just a huge step up in the way that it actually looks. I feel like I would be proud to have this on my camera, not that it matters, but it's always nice to have a lens that looks as good as it performs. The finish of this, well, really nice. We'll get fingerprints more easily than the Canon and Nikon counterparts. If that bothers you, then just be aware of it. I'm not sure if it will get scratched up more easily, but only time will tell on that. Like the new Nikon lens, the focus and zoom ring are switched in positions. The zoom ring is now closer to the front of the lens. I thought this would bother me a lot more than it does. It's actually a little bit easier to grab when you have it on a tripod. When you're hand holding, it's about the same. You just have to get used to it, but I think I could adjust very quickly. The zoom turning in the opposite direction of Canon though would take me a little bit more time to get used to. The tripod foot being Arco-Swiss compatible is a huge deal for me. This is just such a small, simple thing, but it really makes a big difference. Instead of having to put an additional tripod plate on here, you're just ready to go. I think that is really a nice little touch, and I wish that Canon and Nikon would do that. I had a Kirk foot for my Nikon lens, which was designed in the same way. You could put it right under the tripod, and it was really nice. I don't know why Canon and Nikon don't at least have some option available to switch out for a foot in this design if you wanted to use it. I just think it's a small detail that is really, really nice. Thank you, Tamron. Speaking of the foot, it comes off in the same way as the Canon one. You have to slide it off the back of the lens, which means that you cannot remove it when the lens is attached to your camera. I think that Nikon has the best design that I've seen as far as that goes, where you can remove the foot even when it's attached to the camera. It's not a huge deal. I don't take it off anyway, even when I'm hand holding, but if you do, it's the same way as Canon works. The lens cap is very nice. It's a little bit thicker than the Canon version, but it's very easy to grab even when you have the lens hood on here. The plastic itself does feel a little bit cheaper than the Canon lens cap. I don't think it will really matter, but I do like this lens cap as far as the size and shape goes. The lens hood also does feel like it's made of a little bit lower quality of plastic than the Canon is. You can squeeze it a little bit more easily than the Canon, but I don't think it'll matter. I don't think it will break. It does snap on here very securely and easily, but there's no button to lock it like there is with the Canon, and I believe the Nikon as well. It does snap on very securely though, so I don't think that's a problem. Actually, when you reverse this, it is pretty narrow compared to the Canon lens, which sticks out a bit. It's not a huge difference, but if you're putting it into a tight bag, it might be a little bit easier. So let's talk about these switches. Well, they feel nice enough quality and they snap into place without any issues. I really don't like them. They stick out a little bit too much and they switch a little bit too easily for me. When I'm carrying this on a strap at my side, from bumping up against my leg or brushing up against my leg, these switches get switched very easily. These switches are the same as all the new lenses of this design from Tamron, and it was one of the reasons why I returned my 35mm in this new design. I was using it for a wedding and carrying it on a strap, and there were so many times where I put it up to my eye to take a picture and the autofocus had been turned off. I used this for just about 30 minutes yesterday walking around on a strap, and I can't count how many times the autofocus was turned off, the VC was turned off, the focus limiter was turned on. It was really quite annoying, to be honest with you. I can't imagine that I'm the only one that's had this issue, but I've never really heard anybody else talk about it, so let me know down below if you've ever had this experience with this lens or any other in this new design from Tamron. If you don't carry it on a strap, then it might not be a big problem, but I think this is the kind of lens that will be carried on a strap quite often. And if you're carrying it and you bump it and accidentally turn the autofocus off or the focus limiter on, you could pull it up to your eye and miss that decisive moment, especially if you're shooting a wedding or something like that. You can't get that moment back. If I was using this for something like that, I would probably just put some tape over these switches so I don't accidentally hit them, but it's a shame that I have to do that. This lens is, of course, weather sealed as well, and the rear cap is actually really nice. I don't know if that matters to you, but the shape of this actually goes out to cover all the way to the weather sealing gasket on the back. I don't know if it's a significant thing or not, but it feels like even in your bag, this rear cap will keep your lens protected more than a lot of other ones will. So I will have more videos about this lens coming soon, image quality test and comparison, as well as of course my overall review. If you want to see those, be sure to subscribe to get notifications of upcoming videos. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and as always, thank you for watching.